This is part 2 of the video of testing out the fuel pumps, the lift pumps on a 300 TDI, because I know we've had a lot of problems with them. We established quite a few things with the first test, but what I really wanted was a pressure gauge that was better than this one. This one ranges from 0 to 100 pounds. The problem was the lift pump on the TDI operates from 3 to 4 pounds. That's what Land Rover are asking for. Anything above that is a bonus. So you could see on this one that the gauge would hardly move. So I bought a new gauge, and I'm going to do the test again, but this time I'm going to put the cam, I'm going to arrange the camshaft so it's on peak cam and the back of the cam, and see the difference in the pumping pressure. All right, if there is any. We're going to test it on 1 gasket, which is 1 millimeter, 7 gaskets, 7 millimeters, which is the gasket and the spacer, and 3 gaskets, which I think is the optimal. Then we're going to do another test at the end, excuse me, on the volume using 1 gasket, 7 millimeters, and 3 gaskets. I just went to the local dollar shop and I got myself one of these little squeezy bottles because I wanted a calibrated bottle. And what I'll do is, because I haven't got much sophisticated setup, I'm going to turn the camshaft with my drill. I don't want to do it for too long, so I'll probably just count to 10, and then we'll see what sort of a volume it's putting out rather than pressure. So we could have some mixed results. So it's going to be kind of it's like Bob Fleming. It's going to be sort of a funny video putting together, because I don't want to take the pump on and off and on and off. So the first set of tests I'm going to do is for the pressure, and then I'm going to take the gauge off and pump it straight into you, so it'll save me messing about. All right, so let's get on with that. Let's hope it works this time. Now, am I going to do the Delphi pump as well? No, because when I tested it this morning, it was exactly the same. So not really much point. I've got the lift pump with one 1 millimeter gasket in, as you would buy it from the box, and bolt it on. All right, so the current place on the camshaft at the moment is at the bottom or the back of the cam. That means there should be maximum fuel pressure. Here's the gauge. Now you can't see me operate the lift pump, but I'll shout it out how many pumps I'm going to do. All right, you should be able to see my arm moving anyway. So here we go. 1, look at that, 1 pump, and we're up to, what's that now? Let's have a look. That's 2 pounds. 2 pumps. That's what's that now? 4 pounds naturally. Oh, it's getting a little bit less now. That's 5. 6 pounds. So it's 6 pounds on the back of the cam. So we'll dump that out. Well, I forgot to count how many times I pumped it out. I know you are, you can work it out. So we've dumped off the pressure, and now we've got to turn it to the peak of the cam. So that means the cam is pushing the arm already as far as it will go. Now, what about the lift pump? Will that operate? Nothing at all. Not a sausage. Bugger all. Right? There's nothing. So when does the lift pump start to operate? Nothing yet. Here. Here. Is it? There. It's just starting to operate there, and there's the bottom of the cam, so the opposite variable there. So there's nothing around that section of the cam. All right, so that's a conclusive test for that one. I'm going to now flip over and disconnect the gauge and test the volume using the drill driving this. But when I edit it together, you'll see all this section first and then the other bit later. So let me get set up. So now we've got the 5 millimeter spacer and 2 gaskets between the block and the pump. Now first of all, I'm going to let off the pressure. We're going to turn the cam. Let's start at the bottom, the back of the cam, and then we're going to pump it by hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we can't get more than, what's that? That's 3, 4, 5 psi. So we can get 5 psi on the back of the can. Now what can we get on the peak of the can? Oh, wait a minute, there's a little pressure in there. No, that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 gets us 5 again. Now, this goes to show us that no matter where that cam is, we can use the lift pump. But as you'll see later, it's got no volume. That's just a bit of a spoiler for you. So now I'm going to test this on the 3 gaskets. Right, so now we've got 3 1mm gaskets in. We're going to test what is the best pressure. It's on the back of the pump, back of the cam, sorry. So we should get maximum pressure with a few strokes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4's up to 4 psi. 5, 6. 6 pounds. 6 won't go any further than 4 pounds. Well, that's okay. We're in the limit there. So we'll dump that out. We'll turn it onto the back and the peak of the cam, sorry. I will try it again. We've got virtually nothing again. So where is it going to start to pump? Here. I can feel it just starting to pump there. So it's midway. It should be midway. So that means we've got half a cam to pump with effectively. Right, I made a right fool of myself because I didn't realise the connector between the pressure gauge and the outlet had a Schreider valve in that when you push the connectors together it opened the Schreider valve, but when you took it apart you could turn the engine but there was no pressure coming out. I simply took the little valve out, this little chap here, when I can get it out, took that out of the valve, the connector, and away we go. So I've rearranged it now so we can put the tank here, and we're going to turn it, we're going to count to 5 and see what sort of a mess we can make. Alright? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was a good experiment, wasn't it? Look at that. So when I counted to 5, we had 110 millilitres of fuel. Now that is on a 1 gasket pump. Now I'm set up, I'm going to do that test again and then do the pressure tests, if you see what I mean. So I'm all set up now to do that. So now I'm going to put 3 gaskets in. So counting to 5 got to 110. I'll empty all this lot out and I'll start again. This is the 7mm gasket, going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, look at that! Nothing! I could spit more. Look at that! That is horrible. That's, well, let's see if we can get a reading on it. Ooh, they're in 15 millilitres. That's all we got out of the 7-space gasket. So not only was it low on pressure, it was low on volume too. Isn't that excellent? It's a pity about the print coming off this because it's Deborah's birthday next week and I was going to give her that as a birthday present. But the print comes off. Ugh, more expense. Right, now we've got 3 gaskets. This little bottle, the print's coming off it with a diesel. But never mind. So we're going to test it again. This is on 3 gaskets. We're going to test it up to count to 5. That's it. So here goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. we get out now? I wish I had a glass jar, it's easier to see. We got 120 millilitres. Right, that was interesting, wasn't it? I never expected that such a low volume would come out of the pump with the spacer. I thought it would have been more than that. I really did. I thought it would have had at least some more. But what we proved the point was with that one was you could prime the system where the pump's in any position. It doesn't matter while the cam's in any position, it would still have enough, motion on this lift pump to operate. However, once in operation by the engine, it had nothing. It had no volume at all, no pressure at all. Well, it might have had some pressure, but it had no volume. The problem is, you see, when you just put these out of the box and you put one gasket on, what's going to happen is they're going to get a little bit stressed out. So there's the back of the cam, and there should be a little tiny gap between the two, so it's not actually running on the cam itself. But if the pump is closer to the cam at the back, imagine what it's going to be like at the other side. It's stressing it out, and that's the point. The camshaft is stressing this pump and causing them to fail early. I don't really think there's much wrong with the Britpark pumps, except for one thing. Now, I stripped them down, and I was quite amazed how thick the diaphragm was in the pump. I had one was leaking, and what it seemed to be was the shaft that operated the pump at the top was crimped over, and diesel was getting round the crimp and coming out the bottom through a little hole here. It was leaking. Now, on most pumps, people find out they break, they smash up. But a lot of people are finding out that pumps fail because they're draining back. And what that means is, overnight when you've switched off your engine, fuel is returning down, this is the intake, it's returning down the intake into the pump, into the tank. Alright, so it's returning down because the valves aren't shutting off inside. And that's usually a sign that there's dirt in the tank. It could be rust, it could be anything, getting sucked up in the pump during operation and then getting stuck under the valve seats inside. Therefore, the valve can't close, so the diesel runs back into the tank. Now, I've got a Delphi pump here in my hand, and I think with 3 gaskets and this run and one of these pumps in, I think that is going to be perhaps the best bang for your buck, because these have a filter in the top. And believe me, I've taken many a filter out the top of here and find they're absolutely blocked. This is a pre-filter, so fuel coming in from your tank goes through a little diaphragm here and then out of here to your main filter. Fuel from your tank does not go through your main filter and then into the pump. Logic would deem that possible, but it doesn't. I don't know why, but anyway, that's the way it is. So I think the Delphi ones, even the copy Delphi ones, because they've got a screen and a filter at the top, I think that's going to be a good pump. Electric pumps will do exactly the same, but if you're on a budget or you don't really want to do that, then the spacer seems to be critical. Could you put a little inline filter in? Yeah, why not? That would work as well. I've just thought about that. Just put a little inline filter before it gets to here and trap any dirt and debris that gets in there. Just be warned about inline filters from a winter's point of view. If you look at the tank on the back of a 110 for a diesel, there is no strainer on the filter. There's no filter strainer on the pickup pipe. There is on a petrol, but there isn't on a diesel. The reason is that in winter, when it's very cold, diesel gets a little bit thick and it's hard to get through the mesh. So, like I say, if you're in a warmer climate, I would really put an inline filter in. Well, I say warmer, anywhere's warmer than Canada, isn't it? Even bloody Antarctica's warmer than here. But if you're in really extreme cold conditions, just be careful of that. It needs all the suction it can get, because the back of the tank on a 110 is a long, long way away. And this pump will be working really hard. So anyway, that's my thoughts on pumps. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea now, because this has taken nearly 2 days in total to do this video. Usually I just flash them out in a few minutes. And we have diesel everywhere. It's all over the floor. Well, you can see down here, it's bloody sawdust everywhere soaking it up. Anyway, I hope you liked that. That was good fun, wasn't it? If you want to pass that video on to somebody else who's having fuel pump problems, pass it on. Let me do all the sort of messing about work, trying to figure things out. And we'll see you later. Ta-ra.